The Barnyard Circus. There once on a time was a mischievous crow who escaped by some chance from a traveling show, and searching about for a resting place, found a barnyard, where animals wandered around. The horses and chickens, the turkeys and cows, and all sorts of creatures that gobble or browse. The mischievous crow sat and watched for a while, from his seat on the gate, with a sly, crafty smile. Then he said to himself, "I've a wonderful thought, if those animals their only tricks could be taught, they could give a fine circus, as good as the one I've been traveling with. I will teach them. What fun!" So he called to the animals, "How do you do? May I come down and play in the barnyard with you?" And the old spotted cow, most sedate of the lot, politely replied, "If you wish, sir, why not?" In a very few minutes the mischievous bird had established himself with the innocent herd. The horses, the sheep and the old spotted cow, all learned to do flip-flops, right off the haymow, and the pigs and goats worked and worked till they dropped, and 'twas not till the dawn that the strange lesson stopped. "When the farmer appears," said the mischievous crow, "'t will please him to give him a glimpse of your show. He's coming, I think, so I'll bid you goodbye. I'm off for a nap in that pine tree so high." The sun was just rising, when up the long lane came the farmer, with water and fodder and grain. He'd first feed the chickens, and open their coop, but a sight met his eyes, and he stopped with a whoop. Each chicken and rooster, with cry loud and shrill, a somersault turned, lighting right on its bill. The ducks and the geese stood erect on their tails, and the turkeys danced jigs on the tops of milkney. The farmer cried goodness, and scampered outside. As a well-favored guest, and the chickens polite all begged him to share their poor roost for the night. "I gladly accept," said the mischievous crow, "but I feel that before off to slumber we go, I can please you a bit, in my poor, humble way, with some traveler's tales, and I will, if I may." Of course they consented, and gathered around, while the crow, gaily perched on a tub on the ground, began to tell stories of all that he'd seen. Of life with a circus, all calm and serene. He told them of horses, of sheep and of goats, in ribbons bedecked, and with nicely clipped coats, applauded by thousands. He told of the fun in great sawdust rings, where 'twas lovely to run. And the food, he declared, that those animals ate, was brought them by liveried servants, in state. "You'd never," he said, "be content on a farm, when once with a circus you tasted life's charm." "Could you show us the way?" begged the old spotted cow. "Could we get with a circus?" "Yes, I'll show you how. I'll teach you such tricks as they do with a show." "Let's begin right away," said the crafty old crow. "We'll make our own circus, and travel the land." And the animals cried, "'Twill be perfectly grand." While the farmer slept soundly, the crowd in the yard, with the crow as their teacher, learned tricks new and hard. The goose and the gobbler, the duck and the hen, he taught to do somersaults like circus men. But the sights that he saw made his eyes open wide. On the roof of the barn stood the old spotted cow, and the sorrel horse slid on his back from the mow. 2 goats on their horns danced some kind of a jig, and the old crumpled ram leapt right over a pig. The pigs all turned cartwheels exceedingly well, and the calf walked a tightrope, the mare rang a bell, the cat and the dog gave a neat juggling show, 3 lambs on trapezes swung high, to and fro. Then they all gave a cheer, and each stood on his head, and the poor frightened farmer just jumped up and fled. Then the animals looked for their teacher, the crow, for they wanted at once to start out with their show. But the mischievous bird, seeing how the land lay, had fluttered his wings and was now far away. They waited in vain, but he didn't come back. They were bruised, they were hungry, and frightened, alack! And at last when the farmer again toward them came, he found them all sorry, their heads hung in shame. And they went to their work as they always had done, content with their farm life again, every one.